Coffee and Convo, y'all. Let's get it. Yo, salute to everybody already here in the building. Y'all know what time it is. Welcome to the latest installment of Coffee and Convo. I am your host, Graphk Raider. Salute to the greatest chat in YouTube history. All my people. I see Mad Mike, Crispin, Dan, Niles, Justin, Demented, Punchy, Sir Dre, Redbone, Heiko. Come on, man. The GOAT himself, the Mob Father. Hug D's is in the building. Dangerfield, James Johnson, Hammerman, all my people. I appreciate you guys. Do me a favor, man. Wipe them feet, meaning hit them thumbs up. Also, hit that subscribe button if you guys are not subscribed yet. We have a busy week ahead of us. I think we have already 4 shows already loaded up, so you do not want to miss out. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Salute to my dog, man, East Coast Gridiron, in the building as well. We will be live Thursday breaking down Jackson Powers Johnson's tape. It's going to be a fun film breakdown with my guy. And I got a couple Shieldmore members that are going to pull up for that as well to talk about the trenches. You guys should know who that is. A Shieldmore reunion of sorts. Stay tuned for that, man. And salute, man. I love this. Salute to Mondo, my dog, with that content. But also, salute to my good friend, also one of the Mob Fathers of the chat. Happy birthday to LV Maximus, an official OG at 62. You were an official OG 22 years ago, LV Maximus, okay? But whatever makes you happy, whatever helps make you feel better, King, okay? You were an official OG now at 62. Everybody in the chat, man, give our brother a happy birthday if you can. And also, salute to Elite. I see you, sis. Appreciate you for being here as always. A lot to talk about today, you guys. We're going to talk about top storylines heading into the 2024 season. We're going to go over a few other things as well, talk some OTAs, and just going to have a Q&A, man. I just want to talk with you guys, get your opinions on some things. This is y'all's show. You already know Coffee and Convo was created for the audience. So you guys got any questions, anything you want to put in the chat, make sure you do so. Before we get to the show, let me know also, where are you watching? What city? What state? Are you in traffic on your way to work? Are you at work? Are you at home? You already know. Are you at the wife's house, the girlfriend's house, the side chick's house, the side chick's house, the side chick's house? Let me know in the comment section where you are with it, man. Let me see. I'm seeing, Mondo. I'm seeing, right? I'm seeing a few people talking about it, but it's only talk at this point. Be real with you, Mondo. You know, I know that he would like to return to the Cowboys, would not want to uproot his family from Texas. If not, I know he'd like to return home to Carolina, where he is from. I believe he's from South Carolina. So it'd be only right to finish his career with the Carolina Panthers. I can also see the New England Patriots, you know, utilizing him once again, him going back to where it all started, where he was a defensive player of the year, a champion. I mean, there's other teams, man. Yeah, we have a shit ton of money right now. Yes, it makes sense. Yes, it fits a need, but only talk at this point. It's only talk. We don't know that this, you know, you already know how this goes, you guys. Mondo, a rumor starts, people start taking off with it. There may not have been any talks or anything about nothing. You know what I mean? So stay tuned. I'm going to say this, though. We have the money for it. We definitely have the money for it. And Stephon Gilmore is not going to cost an arm and a leg at all at this point in his career. He's 33 years old. He's coming off of an injury. You know what I mean? So we shall see. But it definitely fits a need at this point, and we're definitely still keeping an eye on these veteran cornerbacks that are still available in free agency. Let me see. He said, my house, NYC, Peter Dillons. I love Peter Dillons, Mark. We got to get back out there. A few years ago, me, Hammer, and Wasted, and my wife went out there and watched us beat the shit out the Texans. A few seasons ago, we had a ball at Peter Dillons. If you guys are in the New York area, make sure you pull up to NYC's Peter Dillons bar. It's a phenomenal bar, Raider bar. Love it, man. Love it. Let me see. Okay, James, I like that. He said, pay our guys. And that's something that we are going to talk about. That is one of the storylines going into 2024 to this season, because everyone knows, and we've talked about this a million times, so we're going to get through this storyline pretty quick. Robert Spillane, 1 year left on his deal. You pretty much drafted his replacement in Tommy Eichenberg out of Ohio State in this year's draft, right? You have Trayvon Merrick, last year of his deal. You went out and got Trey Tucker out of Air Force in the 7th round. Those guys have a lot in common. Award-winning DBs at the collegiate level, right? We also have Chris Smith, a guy that we drafted 2 years ago with Marcus Epps on the last year of his deal. We have some safeties on rookie deals at this point. We still got Palomar, still trying to figure out what we're going to do with him. But you look around. I mean, Nate Hobbs, that is probably the only player right now that doesn't have a clear-cut backup at this point. Like real talk, you guys, if we allow Nate Hobbs to walk, in which we're not, I don't see it happen. I think we're going to pay Nate Hobbs. But who at this point would take over his spot? I don't think that we have a clear-cut nickel in the house that can come in and take over for Nate Hobbs if we decide to not pay for him to bring him back. That is an interesting name to keep an eye on. And then you look at, Malcolm Koonce. We just drafted Tyree Wilson a year ago. You know what I mean? A top 10 pick out of Texas Tech. So, you look at all these players that are coming up on a new deal. There's only one player at this point that realistically does not have someone that can come in and take over their spot, and that is Nate Hobbs. So, I think that he's a clear-cut one of those guys that you're going to take care of, and I think that they're going to allow some of these guys to play out their deal this year and see what they look like, so we can gauge if they're worth, a shit ton of money, a good ton of money, or Let me see. I think Mal should move to linebacker, but that's me. Look, Redbone, I love it, man. Palomar, you get him as close as you can to the line of scrimmage. This guy is a cannonball. You know what I mean? We've seen him get to the quarterback before. I would love to have him more as that box safety, more, start getting him closer to the line of scrimmage, utilize that speed, utilize those measurables, 6'4". I agree with you, Redbone. At this point, he has all the athleticism in the world. Have him get to opposing quarterbacks. I agree with you, man. I agree. I wouldn't move him full-time to linebacker, but I would utilize him in some packages, use him as a box safety, get him up there close to the line of scrimmage so we can go attack the quarterback. Definitely, man. Salute to Redbone. Joe, there really isn't any Gilmore news. I knew what Mondo meant. I know Mitch talked about it yesterday. I know that my brother Wasted Talent dropped a video today on Stephon Gilmore. But it was, I believe, was it Bleacher Report? It was an article that came out that stated, that Stephon Gilmore would fit a need with our Las Vegas Raiders. So there's no real news. It's not like we're about to have him come in for, a meeting or a sit down or a workout. None of that. It's just he say, she say at this point. I believe it was a Bleacher Report article. Don't quote me on that, but I think it came out from that outlet that he would fit a need. Just like any other platform at this point, Joe, kind of just throwing shit at the wall and hoping it sticks. But there's no real solid evidence of the Raiders being interested in Stephon Gilmore or Stephon Gilmore being interested in the Raiders. So we have to wait this out. Salute to Richard, my guy. Graphk, do you think we sign a player first or extend players first? I hope we sign a corner soon. I'm going to be honest with you. I think that we're going to go get a player. I think we're going to get one corner, bring in a veteran corner, and then I think that we'll probably take care of two of our players. Now, to who that is or who those two guys are, to be determined. I have no idea who that will be. But if I had to make a guess, at this point, it probably would be Nate Hobbs. I think it could be between Merrick and Malcolm Koonce, coming off that big year that Malcolm Koonce had last year. Keep an eye on those two guys. And we didn't even mention Divine Diablo. Also, you guys, another guy that has 1 year left on his deal at the linebacker position. But I would say pretty much I would probably go get a veteran corner, bring him in, have him fight for that corner 2 spot opposite of Jack Jones, and then take care of 2 of your players, whether that's Robert Spillane and Merrick or Divine Diablo and Nate Hobbs or Malcolm Koonce. And so whatever it is, I just think that we'll probably take a look at 2 players, take care of them, get a veteran corner in there. Yes, I agree, Hug. I do. I definitely believe that Malcolm Koonce is going to cook this year. And that is another one of our storylines, you guys. I know it kind of fits. We kind of talked about it a little bit already in terms of, guys that their deals are coming up, their rookie deals are coming up. But Malcolm Koonce, what like him and Tyree, man, this is a conundrum. Is that what it's called? A conundrum? Probably butchered that. I know Wasted would have it right. He's the wordsmith of the group. But at this point, I'm keeping an eye on that competition right there, Malcolm Koonce and Tyree Wilson. I want to see who ends up, in which I think Malcolm Koonce is going to take that spot regardless. But it's going to be interesting to see. I've heard good things about Tyree already out there at OTAs early on. It's going to be a nice battle to watch to see who wins that outside edge rusher spot opposite of Max Crosby. If I had to be a betting man, I got Malcolm Koonce. I think that right now we have the luxury of being very, very patient with Tyree Wilson because we have Malcolm Koonce. You know what I mean? So that is another storyline to keep an eye on. Who's going to win that battle? It's definitely going to be a battle. They want the best player to win opposite of Max Crosby. At this point, I do believe that's Malcolm Koonce, but it's going to be interesting to watch that. That is a storyline to keep an eye on. Who wins that second edge spot opposite of Max Crosby? Is it Malcolm Koonce or is it Tyree Wilson? What if you guys, and we've seen this year in and year out, what if Tyree comes into training camp and absolutely just balls out? What if you go into training camp and you already paid Malcolm Koonce a shit ton of money? You give him an extension, and Tyree comes into camp and absolutely cooks. This is why it is very difficult to be a general manager, to have the patience, to have the awareness, to also sit back and say, look, let this play out a little bit, because we don't want to make a rash decision before we get an opportunity to watch these guys put their pads on. You know what I mean? So, the thing is this: you have Malcolm Koonce out there, phenomenal, great piece to build on, that you can be patient with Tyree Wilson, but also, do you want to pay Malcolm Koonce right now and watch Tyree potentially come in and take the league by storm this upcoming season? And then you have Malcolm Koonce under contract for the foreseeable future. It's going to be definitely something to keep an eye on. Salute to Slap Nuts. Pause. Salute to my guy, man. Appreciate you for becoming a member. If you guys want to become a member of the channel, like Slap Nuts, pause if necessary. Hit the link. It's pinned up top. It's one of the best ways to support what we do over here at OLV Raiders Networks. Salute to Mike Nix. He says, great point, Graph. Totally agree. Don't rush Tyree. You don't want to rush him. You don't want to. And it's a great problem to have, Elite. Exactly. It's a great problem to have. But also you have to understand that at some point, Malcolm Koonce is going to be looking. His agents are going to be on the phones saying, what are we doing? It's definitely a great problem to have. But in a minute or two, it can get very, very interesting. Another storyline, you guys, and we'll get one out the way real quick, is Aiden O'Connell versus Gardner Minshew, right? I mean, all signs are pointing towards Aiden O'Connell winning that quarterback 1 spot. I know it's very early. It's OTAs, no pads. But all I'm saying is I'm hearing great things about Aiden O'Connell out there. I'm hearing that Gardner Minshew is kind of going through his bumps and bruises, trying to figure out Luke Getsy's offense and so on and so forth. But like I said, it's very early. Devontae hasn't been out there yet. You haven't had some of your best weapons out there up to this point. But that is a storyline right now. It's our second-year guy going to beat out a Pro Bowl quarterback in Gardner Minshew, who just came over from the Colts, won them some games last year when Anthony Richardson went down with that, I believe, shoulder injury, I believe. Could be wrong. Don't quote me on it. But Interesting storyline there. I'm going to be real. I have Aiden O'Connell winning that job, but it's going to be something to watch very, very closely in these upcoming months. Also, I know a lot of people don't want to talk about this, but Davante Adams, this is a storyline in itself, you guys. A guy that has been a phenomenal wide receiver up to this point, right? Phenomenal. He will be a Hall of Famer, probably a first ballot guy. You know, he's had the luxury of playing under Aaron Rodgers most of his career. You know, with DC a few years back, he had a phenomenal year. I believe he had what was it? 13, 14, 1,500 yards in the air. I forgot what it was. Davante had a hell of a year in terms of receiving yards. But last year, a down year in production, and rightfully so. You got a rookie coming in, kind of thrown into the fire to be quarterback one. The system really wasn't, you know, there when Josh McDaniel, when he was there and when he was not. You know, when Josh was let go, we still had to figure it out on the fly. Definitely something to keep an eye on in terms of Davante Adams, because he's getting up there in age, you guys. He's due a shit ton of money next year, a lot of money, like north of what does he do next year, you guys? Is it $30-40 million? He's due a shit ton of money. I'm going to look at this contract real quick. He's due a lot of money. Next season, $44 million cap hit. $44 million cap hit. That is absolutely insane, man. So at the end of the day, this is a storyline within itself. What happens if Aiden O'Connell goes out there and this offense doesn't figure it out? What if the production isn't there with Davante? What if we don't win a ton of football games and we're not as competitive as we want to be? I don't want to throw that into the universe, but it's very possible, you guys. I hate to sound like, you know, I'm not optimistic. You guys know I'm very optimistic. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it is very possible that this offense doesn't get going. We're going to have to rely heavily on this defensive side of the ball once again this year. And Davante may not get the production that he wants. And if we don't win a ton of football games, if we're not there in the thick of things at the end of the season, with Davante owed $44 million in 2025 and maybe him being up in arms about the quarterback position, it's a storyline. Because at the end of the day, this is a guy that wants to go into the Hall of Fame. He wants to wear that jacket with the Super Bowl championship, with the ring tied to his name. It's definitely something to keep an eye on. But that is a shit ton of money for a wide receiver that'll be 33, 34 years old. I think 33 at that point, right? I think it'll be 33 in 2025. If I'm correct, let me see. He's 32 now, he'll be 33 next year. Yeah, so something to keep an eye on, you know, going into this season and watching the way this offense unfolds. I know that Getsy, you know, and Davante have a rapport. I know that Getsy's definitely going to find a way to get Davante involved, but we know what Getsy brings to the table, a run first heavy approach. You know what I mean? We're going to have these two tight end sets, 12 personnel. You're going to get Brock Bowers, going to get Michael Mayer involved in this offense heavily. It's going to be interesting to watch and see where Davante is in terms of involvement in this offense and how much he's going to want to still be a part of this organization, whether it's the success or it's the non-success going into the offseason. Definitely something to keep an eye on in terms of that. Another storyline, you guys, Luke Getsy. You know, we all knew that, you know, well, Josh McDaniels was this offensive guru, right? Offensive minded, you know, quarterback whisperer, so to speak, so on and so forth. It didn't work out in Denver. It didn't work out in St. Louis. In New England, it kind of comes down to, was Bill Belichick or was it Tom Brady? We see when Tom left New England, he won a championship in Tampa Bay. Bill Belichick shit the bed. Josh McDaniels never really had any success ever outside of having Tom Brady as his quarterback, right? Well, now we're going into a situation with Luke Getsy calling the shots on the offensive side of the football, and he had a run-first approach. He had a quarterback that couldn't really throw the football like that, and didn't really go through his progressions, didn't go through his reads. He just took off. Well, guess what? Now we have a quarterback in Aiden O'Connell that is the total opposite of that. This is a storyline within itself, you guys. Is it Getsy's offense? Is it Getsy? Was it Justin Fields? What is it? Because this is a guy that is going to sit in the pocket and he's going to allow his offensive line to block for him. He's going to, Aiden will go through his progressions. He'll go through his reads. He'll make the throws. This is the total opposite of what Justin Fields was. More statuesque, more of a pocket passer. It's going to be interesting to see Luke Getsy's system now with the total opposite there at the quarterback position. That is a storyline within itself. Is Luke Getsy's offense going to get flowing? Was it Justin Fields or was it Luke Getsy? We shall see. I know he had some success as a wide receivers coach and I believe quality control. Don't quote me on it. In Green Bay, when he had Aaron Rodgers, he had Devontae. I know that Luke played a pivotal role out there in Green Bay, but I'm talking about as the guy calling the offense. They ran the football effectively in Chicago 2 years in a row, but the quarterback could not make the throws. We already know all the problems that are tied to Justin Fields. He just runs. He's a running back in the quarterback's body and blah, 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 blah. Well, guess what, Luke? You have a different monster now at the quarterback position. You have a guy that will stand up in the pocket and given him enough time, he can make all the throws. It's going to be interesting to watch and see how this unfolds with Luke Getsy calling the O. Salute to Elite. The QB coach said offense is likened to the 49ers. Yes, Rams and Green Bay. He said, they are our family. Salute to Elite. Salute. And salute to my brother. Halo. Dog, I got to catch up with you, man. I got to catch up with my brother Halo. I have not talked to him in a minute. I close my eyes. I open them. I go to Instagram. My brother's married. You got to call me today. We got to catch up, brother. Salute to my brother Halo in the building, man. Salute to Pace. Also, I know the level of competition wasn't the same, but is it that the only reason Sincere's college tape looks so much better than Zamir's? Well, I mean, at the end of the day, Georgia is a powerhouse, Pace. You know what I'm saying? Sincere played at, was it Texas, San Antonio? You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, it's a little different. You know, I mean, playing down in San Antonio and playing at Georgia. Georgia had that monster defense. Zamir had another running back in there. He was, they had a little duo over there when Zamir was running the football. With Georgia, Sincere was pretty much that guy. You know what I mean? I know he had another. Who was the other guy running with him down there at one point? It's the kid that plays with the 49ers at this point, I believe, right? I could have swore he was Sincere's running partner out there at Texas San Antonio, but I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But at the end of the day, man, look, Pace, it's all about opportunity, right? Pace, Sincere has not been given any opportunity at this point. It's all about reps. It's all about snaps. Last year, we were all over the Zamir White experience, right? We were like, he's not going to find a way to really make an impact on this roster. And then, Josh Jacobs goes down with the injury. We put Zamir out there. He runs crazy those last 4 or 5 games of the season. And next thing you know, we potentially have our running back one. It's all about opportunity. It's all about opportunity. Pace, if you go back and watch Sincere play against the 49ers in that preseason game, he had a pretty good game. I believe he had 2 touchdowns, but he hasn't been given any opportunity yet. He's just sitting on the practice squad. It's all about that, Pace, period, point blank. I'm not going to go about competition or any of that. It's all about opportunity. And I don't think that Sincere has been given that yet. He has to earn that. You know what I mean? I'm not going to say that he hasn't. I'm not going to say that he has. All I'm going to say is it's going to be interesting to watch to see if Sincere McCormick, Britton Brown, those guys get any type of opportunity this upcoming season. But it is Zamir's job to lose. He is the running back one at this point with Alex Madison at running back 2. And Amir Abdullah is that third down back until Dylan Labe is ready to go to take over that spot. Salute to Elite. It was great to hear Bauer was lining up in the slot, H-back, fullback, inline, matchup nightmare. And I don't know if you got an opportunity, Elite, to watch some of Salute to Vegas Sports today. Salute to my family over there. They just uploaded a video of Aiden and Gardner throwing to the tight ends in the flats. And you just see the difference. You see the difference. I know it was just a few practice reps. There's no real, like I said, there's no pads on or anything like that. Michael Mayer, getting away from the linebackers. Brock Bauer breaking outside to get away. If you get an opportunity, go look at the Vegas Sports Today Elite video that they uploaded with the tight ends and in their group getting some reps with Aiden and Gardner. It just looks like it's levels, even with the effort and just practice. Brock Bowers looks totally different. Totally different. Like there was a play where he caught a ball out the flats. I believe it came from Gardner Minshew, or it may have been Aiden O'Connell. I don't know who it was. And Divine Diablo, was in on defense at the linebacker position. And Brock just takes the ball and cuts outside. And he's off to the crib. Everybody else kind of just catches, kind of goes to their, and they call it that. Brock, it's just a different effort level. It's a different effort level. I'm excited to see what they're going to look like this upcoming season. But you're right. Yeah, Brock is definitely a matchup nightmare. Chris, it was a rumor. But there is some truth to that rumor. Michael Mayer said it during his presser a few weeks back. He said, I was a little confused. The Raiders called him and kind of talked him down a little bit and said, this is our idea of what we're trying to do with Getsy, calling the shots on the offensive side of the football. But I don't know if he was truly mad. Maybe there was some confusion there. Maybe there was a little frustration. But now he understands, what they're trying to do. He understands the vision on the offensive side of the football of what Getsy is trying to do with these two tight ends on the roster. So I'm not going to say mad. There may have been some initial frustration. There may have been, some initial confusion. But he's not upset at all. And I think that Bowers being there is only going to make Michael Mayer that much better, being that more of a complete tight end. Michael Mayer is more of the complete tight end. Brock Bowers is, just like Elite said, a matchup nightmare, lines up all over the place. He can do it all. Yeah, there you go, Mondo. Choose your poison. Pick your poison at that point. Salute to Hug, man. You guys wipe them feet, man. Hit them thumbs up. If you're not subscribed yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Salute to my brother Hug D's in the building. Get them likes up, you guys. Keep us in the algorithm. I know it's the off season. I know it's really slow, but things are going to start picking up this upcoming week or two. So stay tuned. Salute to S. Dot. Sincere is nice. Third down scat back. He can take turns with Labe when Abdullah leaves. And that S. Dot. This comes down to another storyline, the running back position. You know what I'm saying? I know that this is going to be more of a running back committee of sorts, right? This isn't going to be a workhorse type situation. Give the ball to Josh Jacobs 20, 30 times a game and just have him run ragged. This is not going to be that. This is going to be Zeus getting reps. This is going to be Amir Abdullah potentially getting some third down looks. Alex Madison coming in and rotating in and out at that running back 2 position. I guarantee you we're going to see Dylan Labe at some point getting some reps also out the backfield. I know he'll probably be more of a special teams guy in year 1. I can definitely see that. He definitely had some success there in New Hampshire. It's going to be interesting. It's definitely going to be interesting to see what that running back room looks like. You know what I mean? It's definitely going to be interesting to see what Zeus can do out there with the full-time gig at the running back 1 position. It's going to be cool. But the storyline is, realistically, you guys, you look at the names in that room, right? There's no real number 1 option. I'm just going off of names. Okay, I'm going off of names. I'm seeing a lot of outlets putting Zamir White as one of the worst starting running backs in the league. Then I'm also seeing a few other outlets saying that Zamir White is going to be one of those players that could potentially, make some noise this upcoming season. So it's kind of a mixed bag in terms of Zamir White. But when you look at that room on paper, you think, damn, this isn't really one of those great running back rooms. It's not Christian McCaffrey and what's the kid that they just drafted out of Louisville? You know what I mean? Like, I know he's a rookie, but that's going to be a nice duo out there. Who was it? What's the kid's name, man? Isaac Rindo, right? Like, you look at some other rooms in the NFL and you're like, God, man, they're going to run the football effectively. You look at the Texans down there, what they're building with that running back room, and you look at ours and you're like, man, I'm nervous about this room. It's going to be very, very interesting to see how that room unfolds and how much success we're going to have with Getsy there calling the shots on the offensive side of the football. Let me see. No, that's my son. My son's in here trying to make full-blown lunch while his dad does a podcast. Full-time father, full-time podcaster. It's crazy. Salute to John. Let me see. Albert, I agree. Biggest question. Which QB can utilize all the weapons we got? I'll double down on that and say the biggest question is, can Luke Getsy unlock these guys' full potential and make that thing go? I think this is on Getsy. I do, Albert. Like, I definitely, there's a lot of pressure on Luke Getsy, you guys, in year one. It is, because Aiden O'Connell had some success last year. At the end of the year, he stopped turning the football over. He had some success at the end of the year. You started to see some actual development with Aiden O'Connell going on to the later end of the years. Made some nice throws, threw some touchdowns, limited the turnovers. And then we know what Gardner Minshew is. He's a gunslinger. He's a guy that's going to go out there, throw some picks, throw some touchdowns. He can utilize his legs here and there. It's going to be interesting to see what Getsy sees out of both these guys and what he can do with those. I have another storyline, you guys, that a lot of people aren't talking about. The offensive line. Well, you know what? I can't say that because a lot of people are talking about the offensive line. But I'll say a storyline is this. Colton Miller, right now, coming off of that, that shoulder injury, and it looks as though he's still rehabbing that shoulder injury. We all know that is our best offensive lineman, period, point blank, the end. He protects that left side. It's going to be interesting to see, with these injuries with him and Jackson Powers-Johnson early on. And like I said before the other day, you guys, I'm not hearing too much about that being a serious injury. It sounds like it's a lower body strain. So, but Jackson Powers-Johnson has dealt with some injuries at the collegiate level. He's dealt with some injuries, you guys. He has some concussions, so on and so forth. It's going to be interesting to see how this offensive line plays this upcoming season with Colton Miller coming off of that devastating injury, still rehabbing right now, hasn't been out there yet at OTAs. If Jackson Powers-Johnson can stay fully healthy this year playing at the guard position, and can Mumford be that full-time right tackle? Now with Jermaine Illuminor gone, playing with the Giants, probably going to be their full-time right tackle out there protecting Daniel Jones. Can Mumford be that full-time anchor on the right side? It's going to be interesting. And what is Andre James going to look like now with the scheme change, with Craig calling the shots out there, with James Craig calling the shots on the offensive line? Can Dylan Parham, continue to turn up? Is he going to play at right guard this year, which I do believe he will? I think that Jackson Powers-Johnson is going to end up winning that left guard spot. What is he going to look like taking over that right guard position? It's going to be interesting, man. Huge storyline with this offensive line. They could be one of the top units in the NFL. They could be one of the, an average, kind of O-line that we've kind of had these past few seasons, or barring any injuries, God forbid, this can be a shit show. It's going to be interesting to see how this thing looks. And yes, Indiana, AJ will definitely be, Andre James will be on the rush tonight. Salute to Max and company out there doing really good things with their podcast. Let me see. Street, we just talked about that, brother. Me personally, I would bring in a veteran corner, and I would look to extend two of our players. Now, to who those two players are, everybody else can feel different about that. But at this point, you're probably looking at Nate Hobbs, because you have no clear-cut guy that can come in and take over that nickel spot from Nate Hobbs. So I'm looking at Nate. Who on this roster right now, you guys, if Nate goes down, is going to be the starting slot corner? Who? We don't have one. We don't have one. I don't know who it is. I truly don't. The only guy that I believe could be that dude is a Philadelphia Eagle now. So, I would look at that. My apologies, you guys. My sons both want to come in here and make full-blown lunches while I'm live. It's nasty work out here in these streets. But I would pay to go get a veteran corner, street professor, and I would look to extend Nate Hobbs and potentially look at Malcolm Koonce to be that guy that would get the second extension. Depending on where you think Tyree Wilson is at this point in his development. I'm looking at Malcolm Koonce. I think that I want to see another year out of Trayvon Merrick. Do I want to bring Merrick back? Yes. I know that we went and got Trey Tucker in the 7th round at Air Force. I think that he could be a force to be reckoned with in the near future. It looks as though he'll be more of a special teams guy in year one. I would probably go get a veteran corner, whether that's Gilmore, Xavier Howard, or any of these other guys, and then take a look at extending potentially Malcolm Koonce and Nate Hobbs. You know what I mean? I want Divine Diablo to show us he can stay healthy. I want to see this upcoming season him doing more in coverage for us. I know he's a tackling machine, but I want to see more from him, in coverage this upcoming season. He was a safety in college, at Virginia Tech. And he converted to linebacker at the NFL level. I want to see more coverage ability from him this year. So I'll wait it out with Divine Diablo. Spillane, we went and got Tommy Eichenberg. I want to see, what Spillane will look like this upcoming season with maybe some potential, some potential competition there with Tommy Eichenberg. So veteran corner, I would personally at this point take care of Nate Hobbs, Malcolm Koonce. Let me see. Salute to Darnell. I feel if AOC has an above average season and you sign Gilmore, this team will be in the Super Bowl. No doubt. Salute to Darnell. That's a lot. There can only be 2 teams every year, Darnell, that can make the Super Bowl. And usually, I'm going to be honest with you, it takes a little more than being an above average type quarterback. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, you look at who was there last year. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is the greatest quarterback of this generation. Brock Purdy was definitely an MVP candidate all year long. So I can't even say he's just an above average quarterback. He was one of the top quarterbacks in last year's season. I mean, we need a little bit more than that. Let me say this. If you sign a corner and we have a top 5 defense and we could potentially have a top 15 quarterback, maybe we can fight for something there. Maybe we can go win a playoff game. Maybe we can win a few of them and make a run. Who's to say? But I would have to say this. We would need more out of AOC to make a Super Bowl run. I don't think that we can rely that heavily on this defense. It's a different NFL now, Darnell, right? It's an offensive game. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to score points. You got to put points on the boards. The same thing. We say this all the time with the NBA. It's a shooter's league. Everybody got to be able to shoot. You know what I'm saying? The NFL is the same thing. You got to be able to score points. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see. But Super Bowl, I'm going to bring my expectations down a little bit. If we have an above average AOC and we have a phenomenal defense, I can see us potentially going on a nice little run here. Salute to Sniper Jones, man. O'Connell looking clean, strong and locked in. Salute. Raiders versus Rams game at SoFi. Pull up. You'll always have a seat at my tailgate, brother. Much love and respect. Salute to my guy, Sniper Jones, in the building. My dog. I appreciate you, brother. Salute, salute, salute. I'm definitely thinking about hitting one of those LA games this year. Raider Reaper, I've seen the reports of them potentially trying to leave Kansas City and coming out to Dallas and having 2 teams out here. Going to be interesting to keep an eye on that, but no, I don't see the Hunts moving their team out of Kansas City. They are the gold standard out there in Kansas City. If they came out here to Dallas, they play second fiddle to the Cowboys, regardless of all the success that they've had. At the end of the day, the Cowboys run Dallas. I mean, look at the Rangers. They're the world champs. You look at, the Dallas Stars, they made a run this year. They just fell short. You look at the Dallas Mavericks in the finals right now, and still, it's still a Cowboys town. So, I don't see that happening. Westwood, I agree. Hobbs definitely has to prove that he can stay healthy. Factory, man. Factory. Did you guys get an opportunity to see some of the presser today with some of our positional coaches? Did you get an opportunity to see that? With some good stuff. If you guys didn't get an opportunity to watch the presser earlier, let me see. I'm going to bring up this photo real quick. Salute to everybody here in the building. If you guys can, man, wipe them feet, hit them thumbs up. If you're not subscribed yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button. So we have run game coordinator / linebackers coach Mike Caldwell. I love that pickup in the offseason, bringing in another veteran guy that has some head coaching experience. Cornerbacks coach Ricky Manning Jr. I definitely enjoyed that, man. Well-spoken. And safeties coach Gerald Alexander. That was fun to listen to as well. But cornerbacks coach Ricky Manning. There was a lot of talk about Jack Jones and his potential this upcoming season. They said he looked like Nick Cannon. That was absolutely hilarious. If you guys get an opportunity, go back and watch the presser this morning. It was really, really good, man. Salute to our positional coaches. And I just talked to Stu this morning. He will be back sometime this week. He's been busy with the family, but we will be doing a show here soon. If you guys haven't seen thus far, this week we have this Coffee and Convo. We have a Graphk and Wasted show lined up. We also have Scout, the return of my brother Raiders.Scout. He will be live with me Saturday night, 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific, right here on OLV Raiders Network. So stay tuned for that. And then we also have the East Coast Gridiron and Shield Moore offensive line breakdown, film breakdown of Jackson Powers Johnson out there at Oregon. So stay tuned for that. Let me see. Salute to Graham. Our offense will go as far as AO's pre-snap reading ability takes us. We have weapons. It's all on him now. Woo! I like that. I like that, Graham. I have to agree with you, but I got to add, it's going to take Getsy to be able to bring that out of him. You know what I'm saying? Like, do I think that Aiden can be that guy this year? Definitely. But it's going to be interesting to see what Luke Getsy can unlock out of Aiden O'Connell's game this upcoming season. But definitely agree with you with the pre-snap reading abilities. You definitely got to get right with that because we have all the weapons. Trey Tucker, Devontae Adams, Brock Bowers, Michael Mayer, Michael Gallup. You know what I'm saying? We have a shit ton of talent. And who's to say we're even done yet? We may add another receiver here soon. Who's to say? You never know. I don't think that Wilkerson is going to be on this roster. I think he'll be cut soon. Josh McDaniels guy, former Patriot. I can definitely see us bringing in another guy. We got Guyton as well. Totally forgot about him. So we have a lot of talent on that offensive side of the ball. Definitely agree with you. Let me see. Who's in the presser? Let me look real quick. I'm going to see who this upcoming presser is. And we can watch it together, y'all. YouTube. Salute to everybody here in the building. Y'all wipe them feet, hit them thumbs up. If you're not subscribed yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Oh, what's going on? Hold on.
So I think just figuring out what works for you and then implementing that as much as you need to.
To piggyback off that, Garner, what's been different about Vegas that's made you feel the most comfortable than you have in the past?
No, that's a great question.
Let's get it.
Man, honestly, it's the guys, the energy. As soon as I walked in this building the first day that I signed, you could just feel it, from defense, offense, coaches, everybody feels like they're pulling in the same direction and wants to get this thing going the right way. And I think if everybody's on the same page, we will be able to get it done.
Gardner, how would you describe the quarterback competition?
I love it.
It's been great, man. I think we both put together a good camp so far, man. Been pushing each other, but also just enjoying each other, enjoying our room, man. We got an awesome room, not only with Aiden,
Anthony
but with
Brown,
Anthony and Carter. We're having a ton of fun right now, being very competitive, and I think that's only going to make our team better.
How hard or how easy is it then to find that line between being a good teammate, but also, you're competing, you want the job yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I think as any real competitor, you don't want them to be worse. You want yourself to be better, So the better he is, if I'm beating him out, that means I'm just raising it that much more. So that's kind of how I've always viewed it. Like, if he's pushing me and he's completing every pass, I got to figure out a way to do better. So I think that's the only way to really ever improve.
And have a direct conversation about hey, you're a veteran. I understand we're competing, but this is how our relationship is going to work. Is that a conversation that happens?
Not really, man. It's been pretty smooth. I think, we had initial conversations, just, getting to know each other. And I mean, one thing, get to know Aiden, he's a team guy. I'm a team guy. We both want to win. We both want to get better. So, I mean, there's really not much conflict of interest there. Yeah.
What stood out the most about Aiden on the field now that you've been with him?
Minshew be having me dying.
He's super smart and he's super accurate. As a young guy, he
Great.
really understands football, understands progressions, timing. And, man, it's fun to watch him interact with the guys, man. He has a ton of energy. And it's just a lot of fun to be around.
I know we haven't seen him out here yet, but have you had some conversations with Devontae, and what are you looking forward to most in terms of maybe learning from his angle and one of the best receivers in the league?
Oh, absolutely. No, he's had a ton of conversations with Devontae. He hasn't been out yet, but super excited to get to work with him, man. Been watching, a lot of his stuff with the Packers back with Rodgers. That was a lot of the Getsy stuff and a lot of the concepts that I've been seeing them run on tape for years. We're finally getting to run. And kind of getting the minutia, the detail of what he likes, why they're getting to it versus certain looks.
Like
some
feet,
awesome
y'all.
insight, and just really looking forward to getting into that more.
You spoke on how challenging the defense has been against what you guys are trying to do in progressions and all. So how has that helped you elevate your game?
Oh, it's huge, man. You got to be ready. Typically coming in, you get day one looks, day two looks. It's pretty base, pretty vanilla. Our defense is coming out guns blazing first day. And that really makes you be on your stuff, not only to know what you have on perfect looks, but when things break down, when it's not an ideal look on a play, how are you going to make it work? And I think we've been doing a good job of that through camp.
Whether on offense or on defense, who has stuck out to you the most so far?
Man, I'd say Christian Wilkins. That dude is running so fast every single play. Wherever the ball is, don't look like you'll see him soon. You know what I'm saying? He shows up. It's really impressive to be around a guy that nonstop works the way he does.
We know the interaction with Max last year, but he's notorious in practice for going after his own guys, just kind of,
let's go.
Some competition, that kind of thing. Have you kind of experienced that?
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. It's the first day. I think he's trying to send a message, but I had to send a message back. It's been fun, man. That dude's competitive. He's going to push it to the limit. And like we were saying with everything else the defense is doing, that's only going to make us better. And it makes practice a lot of fun, too.
As a veteran in this league for a while, there's been some talk that the commissioner brought up the potential of going to an 18-game season. As a veteran, is that something that you even think about, or what are your thoughts on that potential? And also, Super Bowl maybe even being moved.
It's so stupid, man.
I don't really think about that too much. I think we kind of signed that away in our last CBA. They kind of got that right from us, and I don't think they're going to give it back. So we'll be playing more games until we, get a little more leverage to, be able to do something about it.
What about the off-season program? Do you favor moving everything back?
I don't know, man. I see the pros and cons both ways. It'll shake out the way it shakes out, and we'll show up when they tell us to show up.
I'm going to ask one of the DB coaches if he likes to have his players have communication sort of organically with the quarterback, so there's understanding the nuances. On the flip side, do you like that also, to maybe have a relationship and conversations with the DBs?
Oh, absolutely. A guy like Marcus Epps, I was with in Philly. He's always been a player I respect, a smart player.
Forgot about that connection.
Player. Anytime I get to kind of pick his brain, or if he comes up to me, hey, that was nice. We know we're on the right track and doing some good stuff when you get that overlap.
What do you think are some of the similarities and differences between you and Ames' game that makes this competition so unique?
Yeah, I think one of the best traits both of us have is just kind of decision making. Kind of keeping us on track.
Real ones know.
Forward. I think that's been one thing that's on our good days, man. It's just been completion. And I think it's been fun, man. I think we lead in different ways. You know what I'm saying? But both of us take charge of the huddle and get the team moving.
Gardner, just early impressions of Brock Bowers out there.
He gets open, he catches the ball. We're not tackling or anything.
This is the Mac Hollins of the quarterback position, you guys. Literally.
So I think there's there's a lot of guys out there doing that, getting open and catching the ball.
Gardner, Mac Hollins, Minshew.
Exciting times around here for sure.
Last time I talked to you, you were just getting to Vegas. What's your impressions of kind of living here and being around the city?
Loving it, man. Loving it. Gone to the Sphere, seen Dead and Company. That was pretty cool. Don't get to do that everywhere. But no, man, it's a great place to live. Live here by the facility. The facility's amazing. Got everything we need here. So, it's a great setup.
Have you become an Aces fan yet?
Not yet. Gonna need to, man. They keep winning. Sheesh.
Last season, you probably played the most so far. What did you kind of talk about that experience, and what did you set out to improve on this offseason?
Yeah, man, I think, last year is just got to win, no matter how that looks, whether we're running the ball 50 times, throwing it 50 times, defense is playing great, offense is playing great. At the end of the day, you're getting judged for wins and losses, and however you can help your team to do that, I think is, all you can really do.
Anything else?
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Hey, real quick also, you guys, while we wait for Malcolm Koonce to come to the podium, salute to Gardner Minshew. Tashawn Reed put this out earlier for those who didn't get an opportunity to see it. Those players that weren't at voluntary OTAs today, Colton Miller, still rehabbing that injury. Jackson Powers-Johnson, still dealing with that nagging injury. Jake Johanning, the guard, our UDFA. Devontae Adams was not out there today. Running back, Britton Brown was not out there. Max Crosby, nothing to worry about, but he was not out there today. Defensive end, TJ Franklin, another UDFA. D.E. Ellerson-Smith. John Jenkins was not out there also, the veteran, probably taking the day off. Nesta J. Silvera has not been out there at all. So interesting to keep an eye on the former Arizona State defensive tackle. Also, Matthew Butler has not been out there yet either. The young Tennessee kid that we drafted a few years ago under Ziegler and Josh McDaniels. And then another Arizona State product, linebacker Darian Butler, still coming off of that injury. He was on the IR all last season, but he was not out there today at voluntary workouts. So some names to keep an eye on right there. Nothing to worry about with Max, probably a veteran day off. It probably took everything in their power, the Raiders' power, to keep him away from the facilities. I'm assuming, you know what I mean, because Max is just one of them ones. So, but yeah, few names to keep an eye on. Why is Nesta J not out there getting any reps? Matthew Butler. This is the time at OTAs you want to see some young kids going out there and getting a shit ton of reps. They have not been out there yet. You know, Tay, not worried about it. Max, not worried about it. Colton and Jackson Powers Johnson, definitely something to keep an eye on. Malcolm Koonce, now at the podium.
Coming off the season that you had last year, the performance you had as well as you played, like how different is
Malcolm
that
looks like he's in great
what you
shape
do
as well.
when you've done it?
I don't think really anything's different. I think it's just me just focusing on trying to hit the ground running, not losing a step, just more like focus on, like I know what the baseline is now. You feel me? So yeah.
What do you think the difference was those final 8 or 9 games?
I think it's just trust myself, just understanding how my body moves, understanding my body mechanics. Like my rush isn't going to look the same as somebody else's rush. So just
You're a lot more talkative as of late too.
Graphk said that you were coaching up some of the youngsters. What does that mean for you to be able to take that leadership role now as well?
I don't know about a leadership role, but I just think that I've been here for a while, so I understand when like I don't know. It just feels like it was yesterday that I was one of those guys just coming in the building. So I understand like certain things that I was missing at the beginning that maybe I can help them with. So.
Like you said, Mike, you've been here for a while. You've seen different training camps, different regimes. What's the vibe like this year? Why is it different?
No, it's definitely an amazing vibe. It's great to come to work every day. So I don't know. Everything feels just better, I would say.
How much is Christian Wilkins added to that vibe, and what's it been like working with him so far?
He's definitely a character. He definitely brings another personality into the room, stuff like that. He's enjoyable to be around, so he's a great guy.
How much more comfortable have you seen Tyree early on so far?
He's definitely more comfortable. At the beginning of last year, kind of felt like he was like Bambi low key. So now he definitely, I feel like he's coming into his own. So yeah.
You talk about the end of last year, just kind of finding the results. Maybe that the process was always there. You just kind of found the results. Was that how much was a looser environment? Like it kind of seemed to suit you even at the end of the year.
I mean, I guess it's not like. I mean, for me personally, I think it was more like not getting down on myself. Like, say if I didn't get home or get a sack or something like that, like it wouldn't like, I don't know. I feel like when I was younger, it kind of just made me like get discouraged a little bit. So I guess it just came down to like powering through that and just like trusting like older guys like Max and stuff like that, telling me like it's gonna happen. Just keep on keeping on. You feel me? So.
How much also was it?
Facts, Elite.
To get playing time, and how were you able to kind of, I don't know, compartmentalize the fact that you weren't maybe getting those opportunities earlier?
I mean, yeah, it does come down to like getting opportunities and stuff like that. But ultimately, it's the coaches got to trust me to be out there to do my job. So I think it was also gaining the coach's trust and stuff like that. So.
Kind of like your training or anything, you kind of like the same old thing.
Damn, somebody slid through in
your offseason, training was anything
a diesel truck.
To kind of enhance it, or was it kind of like the same thing?
It's kind of the same thing. If it ain't broken, I ain't trying to change it. You feel me? So.
A lot more confidence now.
I think just recognition of things, just recognition of body position for me or body position on OT. I would just say that, just recognition of everything. Say a little bit of both. I mean, I'm watching guys across the league and seeing like guys similar to my stature, how they get sacks and how they play the game and stuff like that. So I think it's that, and then also like just being out here and really focusing and being present on what I'm doing.
You said that Max, kind of helped you out throughout the years. Were there anything specific that you took away from like his mentorship that has helped you along the way?
I think it's too many to count, to be honest with you. But one thing is just motor, because like sometimes your move won't work or you might mess up the technique. But if you keep on, like if you got a high motor and keep on going, then sometimes you just make plays purely off of that. So yeah.
You said you've been watching guys around the league. Who are some people that you pay close attention to?
Recently, well, I watch Max a lot, but also like Hassan Reddick, I watch him too. So yeah.
Oh, I like that.
You like the current
Hassan Reddick, another great edge rusher.
Whether everything big back, put it all together, OTAs, minicamp, and everything.
I mean, I'm kind of used to this setup, so I don't mind it.
With the talent assembled on the D line now, do you feel like the expectations in the D line room have been raised even higher?
I don't really think so. I think we just more focused on. We understand how talented we are, so it's just kind of like understanding, like just taking it one step at a time and just like not getting too ahead of ourselves and trying to win the whole season tomorrow. So it's just basically taking one step at a time, day after day, and just trying to get better at the little things. And pretty much, yeah.
There have been certain expectations, though, year by year. Like this is the year, maybe the improvement. This is where we're going to see that tipping point. Is there a chip on the shoulder, that proverbial chip on this team's shoulder this year?
I don't think it's that. I think it's more of just us being ourselves. That's what I think. Like last year, towards the end of last year, that's basically what it is. Just playing with our personality and being ourselves, and just going out there, just happy to play. So.
As of right now, there's been 4 defensive stars that have come out of your draft class. When you look at Trayvon and Diablo and yourself, and Nate, how much of a relationship do you guys have, and how much do you take it upon yourself now to know that you are the leader of this defense?
I mean, those are dogs, but I don't know. It's just enjoyable just to be around guys that you came in with that as long as you've been on the field, they've been on the field. So it's definitely a dope little vibe that we got going on. So,
what are you and the defense looking forward to the most this season?
Just playing.
OJ, I have a thought on that. I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you in 1 second.
Your position group, coach, hasn't changed, but there has been some additions to the defensive coordinators and guys who played. How important is it to have that kind of experience as guys who played in the league, also coaches?
Oh no, it definitely is important. It's definitely different when you talking to a guy that's done it before or been where you've been and stuff like that. So I didn't get to know everybody yet though, but I'm still in the process. So.
You set personal goals for yourself in terms of like stats or like anything like that?
Nah, I'm not. If I set personal goals for myself, usually I kind of get ahead of myself. So I kind of just take it like one step at a time. So.
I guess how would you measure like where you feel your progress is?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe my dad when he calls me.
What are those conversations usually?
I don't know. It's a lot of coaching involved in it.
It's Malcolm's. Hey, his dad do not play, y'all. I'm telling you right now. He has DM'd me and told me numerous times.
All right.
His dad did not play about his son. But OJ, I have to say this. He kind of brushed that off because he knows that Max Crosby is the leader on that defensive line. Then you add Christian Wilkins into the mix, top 10 defensive tackle in the NFL. Then you have John Jenkins and veterans like Adam Butler. I think he laughed it off because he's still the young kid in the room.
Yeah, they've been good.
Him and Tyrese.
Up and down a little bit for the offense. Obviously installing a new playbook. And so we've had some good days, had some not so good days. And I think a couple of weeks, he kind of started slow at the beginning of the week and then kind of picked it up. So we're trying to, be consistent just like we want to be in the game. And but it's been fun to see the progression of our offense.
Considering how you were throwing in last year and sort of took over the offense, is there a little bit more of a comfort zone for you coming in? I mean, there's a quarterback competition, but where is your mindset and your nerves at?
Yeah, I think it is a change because it's a new offense, so it's a little bit like starting over. But at the same time, it is my now second year in the NFL. I think all the extra rookie stuff I don't have to do anymore is really a weight off my shoulders. And so, definitely feeling more comfortable. Like you said, it's obviously a competition, so trying to put my best foot forward every day and do the best I can.
How would you describe it? How would you describe the competition right now?
Yeah, I think it's been awesome. Gardner's a great guy, and he's really what you see is what you get, and he's been awesome with me. I think we do a good job of communicating with each other what we're seeing.
I need that shirt
because we are both trying to learn this offense.
I need that shirt transplant.
And also at the same time, we are both the leaders of the offense, and so we want to make sure when we go out to practice, it's a good practice, and so we want to make sure the offense is running smoothly and we're executing. So it's been a fun competition.
How hard or easy is it then for you guys to straddle that line between being friendly and being good teammates, but at the same time you're competing for the same gig?
Yeah, I think that's not unique to us. I think that's in any position really, but in especially in this sport, there's only one quarterback can play, and so. I think we've both been around long enough, and we've both had to compete really our whole lives, and so I don't think it's really anything new for either of us.
You had a lot of conversation about what you did in the offseason. You were really here a lot and working on yourself. What all went into that?
Yeah, I think me and my wife are both from the Midwest, so I think a big part of it was we didn't want to go back to the cold. We just wanted to stay in Vegas, but obviously just to be here with our strength coaches in our facility with the resources we have is awesome. And so we love this area. We love to be here and to live here, and so we wanted to stay and also get some great work in our facility.
How much did that help you prepare for what you're doing right now?
Love it.
Yeah, I think obviously getting ready, getting my body ready, all the things that go into it, but also being around the guys that were in the building, and getting some camaraderie with guys maybe I don't know as well throughout the off season, and so it was fun to kind of build those relationships, build the relationships with
I know a
even
Spirit
the
airplane
coaches,
when I hear
I guess
one.
know a little bit as a rookie, but you're
I
kind of
know a Spirit
thrown
airplane
in
when
the
I hear
fire. And
one.
so just to kind of take a deep breath and get to enjoy
Somebody
the
just
time
flew
and
into
also
Vegas to dump off their
I
mortgage.
know it's early June. You guys were getting some red zone work in today, and it looked pretty good. What do you think the key is to making that a better part of the game for the offense?
Yeah, I think obviously things get tighter down there, and so we have guys on the outside and really guys all over that can threaten the defense over the top. And so when you can't, I think details are just that much more important. So I think focusing on the details, I think Coach Getsy has done a great job of emphasizing that, and in our installs, making sure that guys are understanding what they're doing and not just the basics, but to the details, to the nitty-gritty of each play.
Whether it was intentional or coincidental, a lot of action to the tight ends as well. You threw some touchdown passes to your tight ends. How big of a factor can they be, and what kind of comfort level does that create for you?
Yeah, well, I think we have a lot of confidence in really all those guys to make plays. Those guys they're so impressive. They got to run with the little guys and block the big guys, and they got to be really smart too. And so tight end is a really hard position to play, and we're lucky to have a bunch of good ones. So yeah, they do a good job, especially in the red zone, finding open spots.
In regard to the competition, Aiden, is there anything you picked up in the first couple of weeks from Gardner?
Yeah, definitely. I think Gard's in his sixth year, and I've only been in one system before this, and now he's been in a bunch, and so he's seen kind of these similar plays taught a different way.
My dog got a wristband on, bro.
I think communication has been open, and
he is a maniac.
Again,
you guys.
He offers what he thinks for each play, and I do the same, and I think it's a good back and forth.
What are some of the similarities and differences you've noticed between your game and Gardner's game?
Yeah, I think I would say our stories are kind of both underdog stories, and having to work to get to the point where we're at. But Gard does a great job, like I said, commanding the offense, caring about attention to detail. He knows, obviously, he's been around, so he knows how important the little things are to playing quarterback and for the entire offense. And
Aiden.
Yeah, it's been fun to just get to know him, and yeah.
There's one system with 3 coordinators now, and barely a year.
Yeah.
I guess to hear the different voices, I guess how difficult has that kind of process been?
Yeah, I think it's it's definitely a change, but again, it's not unique to me. Some guys do that in 1 year, and even less than that. And so it's just trying as fast as I can to really steal time back and try to continue to go over things over and over. And so the more you go over them, the more you'll feel comfortable with them, and they won't feel as foreign. And so just trying to study as much as possible to try to get ahead. I try to recap the day and also get ready for the next day.
Kind of coming to the end of OTAs and the off-season program. Next week you got the mini camp, and then it's over until training camp. Where's the balance for you in terms of still wanting to kind of stick with it and stay with it, and trying to take a break so that you get that necessary break?
Yeah, I think it's a hard balance. This is my first full off season in the NFL, so still figuring out that balance. But I do love football. I love to work at football, both physically, mentally, all the things that go into it. And so I think I'm trying to find a good balance of spending time with my wife, spending time just with friends and family, but also knowing that this is my job, and this is a job that requires bringing it home with you. And so sometimes that happens, but I definitely have not found that perfect balance yet. I'm still working on it.
So you're gonna stay around the facility after minicamp? You're gonna head home, or
we'll be most of the time here. We'll be out for a little bit, but for the most part, we'll be here.
If you can go back to the question, Adam's question about the 3 systems, is it a matter of you fitting your style into a system, or changing your style to fit within the system?
Yeah, I think it's kind of both. I think, again, Coach Getsy does a good job of even saying to us, he wants to make it comfortable for us, and wants us to, feel comfortable when the play is called. He wants to know what we like, what we don't like. But at the same time, there's a system in place, and, they believe in what they do. And that's what we're all buying into what's being taught, and trying to execute at a high level. So I think it's a balance of, like you said, being myself and finding how I'll fit in this offense, but also understanding the system is in place to, obviously make yards, get first down, score touchdowns.
Gardner was saying every quarterback he's been around has different ways of kind of syncing in a new offense. He was saying he likes to hear a voice memo instead of the traditional scripting of plays. Everyone has their own tricks. Do you have anything like that? What kind of tricks do you use to kind of learn a new offense?
Yeah, I think the voice memo is definitely helped me this year. I record my voice, record the scripts, and play it back to myself, and just try to go over it. I think that's the the realest
Salute to the
you're gonna
chat,
get
man.
steering it back and trying to, act like you're breaking the huddle and going to execute a play.
Had you fought to get onto Max's podcast, or did that kind of happen surprisingly? Or
I did not fight. Max just one day invited me on. I don't even remember. I think he was rolling out or something. Just asked. He actually, I think, asked if I want to come on the pod, and I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then he said podcast. I'm like, oh, yeah, for sure. So that was super fun. We shared some good memories on there because we played Max when I was in college, and they beat us, and that was a bad day. So it was
wow.
It was just
Michigan
a fun time
beat
to kind of
Purdue,
get
huh?
out memory lane a little bit.
Even I know arm strength isn't really thought of as something a guy improves
No
on
way.
once he's made it this far to the NFL, but just looks like you're really driving on those throws between the numbers down the field. Do you feel stronger in your arm? Do you feel like your arm talent just in general is improved in year 2 as compared to year 1?
Yeah, I think I'm always trying to improve. I'm definitely not known for like over the top arm strength or anything like that, but I think you can make improvements and you can get better. And I think definitely trying to work this off season to be functionally more strong, but also understand my motion better, working with quarterback coach, just a bunch of things that are important that I think go into playing quarterback. But I think
facts.
I'm trying to improve on every aspect of the game, but throwing
Facts.
the football is definitely high on that list.
Let's do one more. You'd said that you weren't going to take this opportunity for granted after last year being put into the position of starter. How's your mindset really developed from that moment to now?
Yeah, I think trying to continue that, trying to be grateful for where I'm at. I get to play football for a living. I get to do it at a high level with a really cool organization that's, bought into winning. And so, trying to do my best to, like I said before, put my best foot forward. And, I continue to say it, but find the balance of, reflecting and being grateful for getting to the spot, but also, trying to look ahead to, I want hopefully win a lot more football games.
Great.
Thanks, guys.
Love it, man. Love it, love it, love it. Salute to Aiden O'Connell. Salute to Malcolm Koonce. Salute to Gardner Minshew. On a phenomenal presser, man. Salute to those guys. Let me get this off the screen. Get that off the screen. Boom. Salute to everybody here, man. Wipe them feet, y'all. Hit them thumbs up. If you're not subscribed yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button, man. Aiden sounds a lot more prepared this year. He sounds a lot more hungry, a lot more mature. I'm excited to see what Aiden O'Connell can do. I loved Gardner Minshew's presser. He knows it's a competition, but he also understands that there's a brotherhood there between him, Anthony Brown, AO, and Bradley as well. You know what I'm saying? Our UDFA that we brought in out of South Alabama. So, I loved it, man. Malcolm Koonce, a lot more confident, you guys. I'm telling you now, when I met him 2 years ago, was it 2 years ago, 3 years ago? With him and Merrick, they came down to Dallas. They went to this card show, and we got an opportunity to kick it with him for a few hours. And Malcolm was so quiet, didn't really engage with too many people. He was just kind of just minding his business. When you talk to him, he'd smile, he'd laugh, he'd give you short answers. He knew, I think he also knew that, he knew that I did the podcast and stuff. So, he may have been a little more reserved, in a sense, but it just feels good to see that these guys have a lot more confidence going into this season. I understand the Malcolm Koonce leadership talk. Once again, he understands that there's leaders in that room already. The Max Crosby's of the world, the Christian Wilkins, the John Jenkins, the Adam Butlers, so he kind of laughed off the leadership role. But at the end of the day, who cares? Patrick Graham stated, our defensive coordinator, the brainchild of that defense, stated that Malcolm Koonce has stepped up as a leader on the defensive side of the ball. So at the end of the day, we can kind of nitpick at Malcolm Koonce. Oh, we didn't like the answer. It doesn't matter. The brainchild of the defense, Patrick Graham, was the one that stated that he is stepping up in a leadership role. So I think that was Malcolm Koonce kind of being humble and understanding that he is, a small part of that leadership role in terms of the defensive line and the defense as a whole. With all those veterans, the Spillanes in the second level of your defense, the Merrick and Marcus Epps on the third level of your defense. At the end of the day, man, I don't think that he was shying away from being a leader, but I think he kind of laughed it off in a sense of like, there's so many leaders in this defense, so I'm just a small piece of it. Let me see. Richard Hardy, I appreciate it, brother. Thank you so much for pulling up. get a few questions in, you guys. Let's get the last two storylines that I have before we get out of here. We already know the second cornerback. Who is going to be the starter opposite of Jack Jones? Is Jacorian Bennett going to take that next step in his development in his sophomore year in the NFL? Last year, he lost his spot pretty early on in the season, didn't really bounce back from it. Who is he going to be in year two? Does Graham believe in him to be that guy on the perimeter opposite of Jack Jones as the number 2 guy? Are one of these rookies going to step up? Can MJ Devonshire be one of those guys, the 7th rounder out of Pitt? He has all the intangibles to be a great corner in the NFL. Can he show some life this year? Will he make the roster? I mean, he's a 7th round pick. Richardson out of Mississippi State. Can he potentially? I think that he has all the intangibles to be one of those guys at the NFL level. Can he put it together in year one? Brandon Faison, the veteran. There was a lot of talk in today's presser about Brandon Faison being one of those leaders in that room and him being a big piece of that cornerback room. Will he be the corner 2 opposite of Jack Jones with Nate Hobbs in the slot? Or do they not trust these guys enough and they go out and get a proven veteran? And we've talked about the names a million times. I'm not going to go into that. But that is a storyline in itself. Can one of these young guys step up? Is Brandon Faison going to take that spot? Or are we going to go out and get a veteran in free agency, pay him a nice chunk of change to come in and be that cornerback 2 opposite of Jack Jones? We shall see. With all the rumors now of Gilmore and, Xavier Howard with his ties to Patrick Graham, Adoree Jackson, the ties to Patrick Graham, it seems as though a lot of these corners, it's kind of an easy plug and play type situation to come into Las Vegas and be that guy. So an interesting storyline moving forward. Also, salute to my brother Hug D's, man. I appreciate you, brother. That means a lot to me, King. Thank you so much. The GOAT himself, Hug D. Salute to all the new members in the building because of our brother Hug D's. If you guys want to become a member and you missed out on the 10 giveaways, hit the link up top. It is one of the best ways to support what we do over here at OLV Network, especially in the off season. Is really slow. So, it definitely helps us keep the lights on over here at OLV. So I appreciate all the new members. Salute to my brother Hug D's, man. You already know. Love you, bro. And I love that you were promoting you and the wife's business in the comments section. You guys make sure to go check that out whenever you get an opportunity to do so. And the last storyline, you guys, and I know I'm not trying to turn nothing, something into nothing. Well, what is it? Nothing into something at this point. But the last storyline I have for you guys, Antonio Pierce, our head coach, with all these great minds around him, the Marvin Lewises of the world. You brought in Getsy as your offensive line, your offensive coordinator, right? You bring in James Craig for his second stint as the offensive line coach. You go out and get, other minds to bring it. We have Patrick Graham. Can he sustain the excitement around the nation? Can we turn some of that excitement last year into success? Can we turn some of this excitement into success in year 2? Technically year 1, but I'm calling it year 2 because he had pretty much, he had a lot of last season to work out the kinks, even though the offensive side of the football, we didn't have a complete offseason trying to revamp that as a whole. But can AP turn a lot of this excitement into success? That's going to be something to keep an eye on, you guys. He has all the right pieces around him. He has a great positional coaches, great defensive coordinator in Patrick Graham. Tom Telesco, a general manager that is proven. He's been here 11, 12 years. This is not a Ziegler coming in year 1 trying to figure it out with the GM. This is a guy that has a ton of experience as a general manager. Can AP turn this into a perennial playoff team? Can he turn all this excitement that we have as a fan base into some success? We shall see. There's a lot of question marks. A lot of people thought we would get a quarterback. We would trade up to go get the young pup out of LSU. A lot of people assumed, we would have Michael Penix Jr. As our quarterback this upcoming season. Maybe we would have traded up to get Drake May, so on and so forth. No, we stood pat. We didn't get a quarterback. He believes in Aiden O'Connell. He believes in our veteran that we brought in Gardner Minshew. Will that come back to bite us in the ass this upcoming season? Will it? Or will Aiden O'Connell turn that corner? Or will Gardner Minshew come in and recreate some of the magic that he's had, coming in, into certain situations that he has up to this point as a veteran quarterback? We shall see. But watching Harbaugh go to the Chargers, a divisional rival, and seeing that he was available out there to be the head coach at one point, with all the success that he had at the collegiate level and as the 49ers head coach, AP has a lot of pressure on him. I'm just hoping and praying that this upcoming year, with all the great minds around him, with Tom Coughlin, another guy that he leans on a lot, if he can turn that into something this upcoming season. So we shall see. My last storyline, you guys, can AP put it all together this upcoming season as the interim label was removed and he is officially our head coach? We shall see. I'm excited to see this defense continue to go upward. Top 10 defense last year when Josh McDaniels was fired. We shall see if we can turn that into a top 5 unit this upcoming season. And if we can turn things around on the offensive side of the football, because last year it was very tough watching this offense, trying to get it going. The Chicago game, the Minnesota game was nasty. The Colts game, there was some signs, and it was like, early on in the season, struggling to move the football, whether it's the run game or the passing game. We shall see. I'm just hoping and praying that AP can figure it out this upcoming year, because this is a pivotal year for our fan base. This is a year, what are we going into? Year 4, I believe, in Las Vegas, year 4, year 5. This is a big turning point for this organization, you guys. Vegas is a city that people go to win. They don't go to lose. And we need to make sure that we can turn things around out there with all the success that the Golden Knights have had, with all the success that the Aces have had up to this point. We need to be in the conversation. We need to be in the running as that team that has a shit ton of success, and we're bringing wins to a place where people go to win. So let's see. We shall see, man. We shall see. Salute to Robert Hicks. Graphk, who has a better year, our O-line or our D-line? It's clear-cut the D-line. That is the best unit that we have on this roster. And I don't see the O-line. If the O-line has anywhere near the success that our D-line has, we are in for a great year. Let me just say this, Robert Hicks. If that O-line can have any somewhat close to the success that this D-line is going to have this year, that means that Aiden O'Connell or Gardner Minshew, or whoever it is going to have a phenomenal year. That means that Zeus or whoever's going to be that primary back for us is going to cook this year. But I have to go defensive line, clear cut. You have Max, Christian Wilkins. Those are 2 of the top paid guys at their respective positions. You have Tyree in year 2, Malcolm Koonce coming off that big year last year, John Jenkins and Adam Butler coming back to run it back this upcoming season. Clear cut the D-line. Salute once again to my brother Hug D's, man. Watch the second year Brady presser after he was named starter, and the AO likeness is what was being said is uncanny. Mindsets are similar, and they're locked in. I love it, Hug. Baby Brady, man. Baby Brady, man. Salute to Hug. And definitely, man, I got to go back and watch some of those, but definitely, man, the body language, the confidence is starting to grow here. He has 9 games now, I believe, under his belt. It's going to be exciting, to see what we look like this upcoming year. And I mean, doesn't he have nine starts, I believe, right? Let me look that up one more time. But either way, he's in for a lot more reps this year if he wins the quarterback 1 competition, of course. Let me see. I want to see something. How many games did AO start last year? Boom, boom. Ten starts, I believe. 9-10 starts. Yes, I believe it was 10 starts. So there we go. Yep, in transplant, there you go. 10 starts, 5-5, but he's 5-4 with AP. There you have it. So we're going to see more of Aiden O'Connell this year. I'm excited about it. Salute to Angelo, my dog. Salute to Carl, my dog, man. In the building, man. Salute on a $2 donation. And AP we trust. Factory Outlet, Carl. Talk that shit, my brother. Salute on a $2 haymaker, man. Let me see. Get a few more questions in, you guys, before we get out of here. I'll do about 10 more minutes before I start putting together these next few shows for the week. Foxdale, I have not gotten an opportunity to do so yet, but I'm definitely going to double back and check out the Sincere McCormick interview with my brother Samoan and Fitz in there, man. I definitely got to go check that out. One Nation, definitely not, man. Cigars, you don't inhale cigars, brother. You'll fuck around and throw up doing that shit. So no. Trust and believe he's not doing that. Let me see. Sarah, I would love that, but that's a huge ask of Aiden O'Connell. You know, a 4th round pick out of Purdue. A walk-on that was like the 8th quarterback on that, on that roster at one point, right? Like, that's a lot to ask for. It's a lot to ask for, Sarah. So if we can get anything close to that, we're in for a nice ride. But I'm going to temper my expectations down. I'm going to bring my expectations down a lot when it comes to Aiden O'Connell and the whole Tom Brady connection. Angelo, I did not. But I did see Wilder get his ass cooked. It's nasty work. Salute to Hug once again. What's on the to-do list, Graphk, today? Give us a glimpse behind the scenes. Wifey time, football time with the boys. Pull a sock out of the Chloe's mouth. What's up? Salute to my guy, Hug. I'm going to make my son some lunch. The weather finally starting to clear up. I may take them to the pool here and there here in a little while. Let them go out there, throw the ball around a little bit, and then hopefully I can come back home tonight and put another show together after my gym session. So, it's always action-packed over here. And I'm also going to start working on some new things for OakLosVegas and Planet Raiders. And I have a shit ton of stuff with the hot sauce. Hey, Hug, let me ask you this. If you went to Vegas, right, and there was a Graphk burger and an OLV wings meal, would you order one? I'm going to ask you that. Any given Sunday sauce wings, Graphk Raider burger in Las Vegas. If you were out there, would you go support that? Because we're working on something right now. Stay tuned. And I will be out there in a few weeks. We're going to have some fun. We're doing some different things this year. Salute to Jesus, my guy. Do you see our defense resembling the New York Giants defense 2008? That's a lot to ask for, Jesus. They had a shit ton of talent on that defense. I know we do as well. I know that, AP and his connections to the Giants and, him being over there as well. I know he's trying to replicate what they did, but that's a huge ask. I'm just asking to get better this upcoming season. I'm just asking for them to continue going upwards on what they did with last year with that defense. So is there any resemblance? AP, the mindset. You have Max Crosby. They had Michael Strahan. We have Christian Wilkins. They had a phenomenal defensive line. So it's a lot to ask for. But, there's some similar resemblances. But look, it needs to translate on the field. And I'm hoping this year we can come somewhat close to what that defense did out there in New York. Hug, I appreciate you. Well, guess what? It's in the works. It's in the works. It is in the works. Salute to my people out there. Salute to my brother Mike Dixon. Vegas Sports Today. Salute to my brother Wasted Talent, my brother Ant, Any Given Sunday Sauce. All that good stuff. We got some things in the works, so stay tuned. John, I got you, bro. John Bailey, I got you. Me too. I'm just hoping that, this year there's more success. I hope that he continues to limit the turnovers. I hope that this run game can set the tone on the offensive side of the football to open up that pass game. And we can see Brock Bowers, Michael Mayer, Michael Gallup, and Devontae Adams and Trey Tucker and Jacoby Myers all cook. I didn't even mention him earlier when I was talking about the wide receiver room. That's how deep this wide receiver room. I didn't even mention Jacoby Myers, a guy that had like 800 yards receiving for us last season. So let me see. Nav, Docs, what's your level of excitement for this team getting on the field with the mindset we have seen? I'm a full out 10. I am too. But I'm also, let me say this. My excitement is out of 10. But it's going to take some wins. It's going to take some I got to see it. I got to see it, Nav, man. Right now, the offseason, the energy is definitely different, right? It's definitely different. I'm definitely excited about what we're putting together. But there's still some moving parts here, Nav, man, and we talked about it a million times. A new offensive coordinator, who hasn't really had a shit ton of success in his time in Chicago, right? James Craig coming over and running the O-line now. There's some change there. You know what I mean? Josh Jacobs, our all-pro running back, is no longer here. You can no longer force feed your all-pro running back. Now it's a committee. Now you're hoping that all these guys can get the reps and there's some success there in the run game. There's so many question marks. There's so many question marks. We shall see. We shall see. But the excitement levels are definitely there. I'm really, really hyped about it. Martin, you may see Andy here soon. You may see Andy here soon. Salute to little bro. Me and Wasted were on a 3-way call with him the other day. He's doing okay. I don't, none of my business to tell, but that's my little bro. Went out to the Air Force. He tore his meniscus a few weeks in, and he's back home in Oakland right now. So prayers and much respect to my brother Andy. But yeah, man, tore his meniscus the first 2 weeks out there at camp in Chicago. So, but he's still doing really good. He's still doing really good. I believe he's now a coach at high school or college for a football team. He's still utilizing that mind that he has. He's brilliant. So, but he will be back sometime this season. You'll see Andy around for sure. Definitely. Let me see. Hope so. Hope so. Hope so, man. That'd be great to see Luke Getsy in talks to be one of those OCs of the year candidates. That'd be phenomenal. Phenomenal. Let me see. Medically discharged. An honorable medical discharge. Hey, man, I've told Andy a million times, your football, you're not done with that. You have too much to bring to the table in terms of your mind and how much you know about the game. Like, I just think that this was a sign from God. No military for you. Get back to what you do best, and that is football. And I'm hoping that Andy, sticks to his calling. I think that football is his calling. I always thought that since he came on the show for the first time 4 years ago. A great mind. I hope that Andy takes advantage of that. You know what I mean? A lot of my moves that I make, a lot of moves that Wasted makes in this, we always have Andy in mind moving forward. You know what I mean? Because that's just our little bro, and we know how dynamic and how intelligent he is when it comes to the game. No, Martin, it's all love, man. It's all love. ain't nobody gonna be mad at me but Andy, about me saying something potentially, but it is what it is. Let me see. But yeah, man, hour and a half in, you guys. Yeah, and Graham, you know this. You know firsthand. Andy's different. He is different. And damn, right when I put Graham Cam up as well. Salute to my brother, man. I appreciate you, bro. My dog Graham Cam just went to OakLosVegas and grabbed him a OLV boxed out hoodie. I appreciate you, brother. Salute to you. It is officially on the way. That's crazy that I just put up your chat and you went over there and grabbed the hoodie, man. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. And you're right. Andy's a different animal, man. For real. Let me see. Facts, Nav, man. You ain't never lied. Man. But salute, man. Salute to everybody here in the building. Let me get my sons together before they drive me crazy. Get them some food. Get them outside for a little bit. Get some of the energy off. Salute to the greatest chat in YouTube history. I appreciate you guys as always. Great presser with Aiden O'Connell, Gardner Minshew, Malcolm Koonce. Great presser earlier this morning with our DBs coach, or our corners coach, our safeties coach. Go back and check that out if you guys get an opportunity to do so. If you guys missed out on the top storylines going into the 2024 season, run the show back. We had about, I think, 5 to 7 of them. And I will be putting together Another show here. If not tonight, we will be back tomorrow. But East Coast Gridiron, the breakdown with Jackson Powers Johnson film Thursday, Saturday. Raiders.scout makes his return to the OLV platform. He will be back Saturday night. And I'm going to be putting a few things together also this week. So stay tuned. I'm hoping we can do 5 shows this week. You know what I mean? So we have 3 or 4 already up. I'm hoping we can get to 5. So stay tuned for that. I reached out to Stu as well. He's been busy. But we're definitely trying to bring something together. But appreciate you guys. As always, love you. Appreciate you. On the way out, wipe them feet. Hit that subscribe button. If you're not subscribed yet, hit them thumbs up. Also, OakLosVegas.com. Go get some drip like my brother Graham Cam just did. PlanetRaiders.com. AnyGivenSundaySauces.com. And it's now also available on Amazon. Appreciate you guys. I'm out. 1.
That's what I'm talking about.